So you've heard us talk about the touch it once rule many times, but what exactly is the touch it once rule? Today we are going to deep dive into that, and hopefully it will help you if you are overwhelmed like we are.
3, 2, touch me one time. Hi.
James Brown again?
Yes. Did I already do James Brown?
Yeah.
No, I'm bringing him back.
Okay, so we've talked about the touch it once rule more than once. And we
You can talk about the touch it once rule more than once. That's the secret rule.
That's the secret rule.
Yeah.
The rule that should not be shared.
That's right.
Well, we actually had someone reach out and say, hey, can you go in a little bit deeper into what the touch it once rule is? So we thought this would be a great opportunity to kind of deep dive into this whole concept and how I think it has helped us a little bit. We're still learning. I don't think that we're...
Well, you're way better at it than I am.
I don't know. I think that you're better at it in certain areas, but I'm better about it in other areas. So, you know.
Maybe. I still think you're the champ of the touch it once.
Okay, so what is the whole concept behind the touch it once rule?
Touch it once. The end. Thanks for watching.
Okay, it's basically handling it only once when whatever it is presented to you. I've also heard it called the Ohio rule. Only handle it once.
Okay.
So, well, I don't know. So if you like acronyms, do the Ohio rule.
So then you go, Ohio, Ohio, round to the end, high in the middle. Or you could reach out and touch somebody's hand. Just once.
Here are some ways that I think that the touch it once rule has helped us. I am well known for never knowing where's my phone, where are my keys, where did I put this?
So you employ this out of great necessity.
Yes. I think the invention of the Apple Watch being able to hit the little button.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times a day do you hear the ding, 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 ding?
Yeah. Sometimes, though, you're still running around the house hearing the ding, 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 and like, where is this thing?
It's like hide and seek with your phone.
What happens when your phone is lost and the Apple Watch is lost? What's going to find the Apple Watch to then find your phone?
I have no idea.
Me.
Well, I think before the phone, it was always my keys. I could not find my keys. And so now that we have a hook that I know when I come in, I mean, sometimes I still leave them in my purse, but it's always either in my purse or on the hook. I don't leave them anyplace else.
Well, one place that you always store your shoes is right in the middle of the floor. So we all know exactly where your shoes are. So she doesn't even touch those babies once. Those guys get flung off.
Like I said, I am a work in progress, but I have been trying to be a lot more cognizant of, when I take my shoes off, let's put them away.
Yeah.
So, and you can't blame me while you may take your shoes off in the closet, we've got little cubbies in our closet where our shoes can rest.
I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm saying my touch it once is generally, it is almost in the spot it should be. And it's so close. Why did you not just go ahead and put it in there? You understand what, you know what I mean? Like we have a shoe rack and the shoes are right below the shoe rack. I could have just gone, I mean,
we're talking
13th of a second more to do that. Yet they just end up piling on the floor because I'm like, well, I'm going to put those on later. I mean, maybe in like 5 minutes.
But it's usually 5 days.
But it's or weeks. So I learned my failures in this area, even back to college, I think, is when I first remember it dawning on me, thanks to my roommate at the time, Jody, if you're listening, thank you. Dishes go into the sink right next to the dishwasher.
Right.
I could just open it and put them in, but yet they just go into the sink. So I'm like, well, I'll put them in there later. And I guess later means when they've piled above the sink level. then my roommate comes up to me and says, "Can you just put the dishes in the dishwasher?" And it was the first time it dawned on me, like, oh, not only is it courteous, it's a little more efficient, and the place looks nicer.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I'm a person that loves to rinse the dishes before you put them in the dishwasher, which I know technically that's a no-no. That kind of defeats the purpose. Well, I think you're supposed to scrape them, but not necessarily. I don't know. But all of the new commercials that are out where they're advertising just put the dish in, and I'm running more loads, but I'm still saving tons of water because it does save water running the dishwasher versus that. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, what if we were to go a step further, and we may run 2 loads of dishes in a day, but we're not spending the time rinsing and scraping and wasting water and all of that
doing
stuff.
It
so
more quickly.
So it's like, again, that's another productivity hack. We could save time and money.
Yeah. And I hate unloading a packed dishwasher,
I know. I mean, it takes 15 more seconds, and ain't nobody got time for that.
I got to go organize my shoes.
So I do think that it could help increase productivity.
Of course.
Because, say, mail comes in, you can immediately discard the junk mail and the envelopes, open them up. If it's a bill, put it in the spot where you know where the bills need to be paid. But if it's something that is like, oh, this is an important piece of paper, but I just need to file it away, then either go ahead and file it away, or go ahead and put it in the to file.
Yeah, we know you're going to run into a situation where you just don't have time to file it all away. But if you can take that 13th of a second and just go zip, zip into 2 different piles, then when you come back to it later, this makes sense. You don't have to re-go through and go, wait, what was that again?
I know.
So,
But then you have children who will come in and just toss the mail on your desk, and now suddenly all your piles are scattered, and you're looking at your desk going, this doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah. So, yeah.
See?
It's not 100% proof. Nothing is.
Well, but I still think, though, there is some productivity in the method.
Why do you think we make it harder for ourselves, though, all the time? Everybody's got the clutter counter.
Yeah.
And you come in and the keys and the purse and the tumbler and your coffee and everything. And then
you're mentioning everything that is mine, where I put my purse someplace, I put my keys someplace.
Yeah. I'm not talking about you specifically.
I'm the only one in the house with a purse. I'm the only one in the house who drinks coffee.
One who knows.
I'm feeling attacked.
Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, or your wallet.
There you go.
Or your Coca-Cola. Or something like that. Or your cigar, and you're just throwing stuff up on the clutter counter.
Right.
Does that make you feel better?
Yeah, it does.
All the stuff that I eat and drink. Do I eat a cigar? No. So why do we torture ourselves and pile it up just to have a mess for a week?
Right.
And then we have to make sense of 50 things we've ended up putting up there.
Because the whole idea is, let me just drop everything and then I can go and now I'm home, I can relax.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But then what you've just done is, now I can relax, except for now I've got work that I've got to do in 2 days.
Yeah, until tomorrow when I have to fix all this stuff, and you're more stressed again because you've still got to put all that stuff away.
So I think that's key. I think that the touch it once rule will help you reduce stress as well.
And frustration.
Yes, because frustration, like, where are my keys?
Yeah.
I know where my keys are now. So, and then plus that frenzied, we're rushing out the door. I can't find my thing. Where's my thing?
Yeah.
So I think that it would help any of those stressful moments when things are an overwhelm.
Yeah. And like I said before, my problem is always getting the stuff almost so close to their final destination without yet being there. Includes so many tools that I will put the tools in the hallway that leads to the garage where my toolbox is, and my tools will sit there on the counter for a week or so. Because I'm like, I will walk out to the garage and put all of these away in the toolbox, even though I don't. They just stay there.
Well, my problem...
And I'm walking into the garage all the time to get in the car, to walk outside or whatever. Walking past the tools like, hey, buddies, be with you in a little bit.
Well, one thing that I always struggle to find is the tape measure. So I've just solved it. We have about a half dozen tape measures, and I've got them.
Just one in every drawer, in every room of the house. It's a genius.
Not every room, but almost every room.
It's pretty close.
Well, because we've also gone to conventions where people have gifted us tape measures, and
so please send more tape measures to P.O. Box
more drawers
232, Birmingham, Alabama.
That's not our P.O. Box.
Yeah,
so
don't send them there.
there.
Whoever has that address is going to be going, why do I get...
We have the same address.
I got 6 million tape measures. We need 6 million people listening.
Well, so it increases productivity. It reduces stress, but I think it also improves organization.
Yeah.
You know, like I've got a hall closet that I keep things in bins in that I'm ready to reorganize and kind of create it to make it even more efficient, but knowing that, okay, well, the label maker goes in this bin with other label making supplies, and so that way if I need the label maker, I know exactly where to go.
Yeah.
And so having things organized, they have their spot where they live. This is the designated, tool drawer or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think that does help.
Sure.
In the long run. So, it's better time management because you're avoiding procrastination. So we hope that kind of gives you a little bit more of a deep dive into the touch it once rule. I mean, it's pretty simple and apply it to work in your life. How could this rule radically change some of the stressors that you're experiencing? I mean, it might be an email inbox. Like, okay, when the email comes in, let me just handle it. Or whatever that issue may be in your life, once it comes in, just handle it right away.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no hard and fast rule to the touch it once rule.
No.
It's very customizable.
Yes. Ours is constantly undulating and changing.
You will break it more than once.
Yes.
On a daily basis. But that's what we do as humans. We break rules and do things wrong pretty consistently. And that's why there's rules like just touch it once. And that should encourage us. And some days we get it right. And some days we get it wrong. And maybe most days we get it wrong. But it still gives us something to do and feel better once we figure out, okay, instead of just tossing all of my laundry on the floor, I'll at least get into a basket.
Right.
So it's one place. And then if you go a step further, you can go, all right, well, not only is my clothes not on the ground, but they're actually sorted into color piles for the laundry. So you can go as deep as you want.
That's right.
But if getting it into the basket is good enough, and hey, I'll get it down to the laundry room and sort it there.
Right.
Then perfect. You're doing the touch it once rule perfectly.
That's right. Okay, so we hope this helps you out. If you have any questions or if you have a success story on how the touch it once rule changed your life, we want to hear about it. So make sure to reach out to us. You can reach us on our website or on any social media channels, or you can also leave a comment below. We look forward to hearing you guys, and stay tuned for the next episode that comes out every week.